Real life, people. Real life. I just laugh at you anyway. Okay. Plus 1 or 2 cups of something cruciferous, like, oh my god.
Hey guys, Cheri from The Watering Mouth here, doing another What I Eat in a Day to Lose Weight video on the Eat to Live Nutritarian diet. So if you may or may not know, all of my videos are based on the Eat to Live Nutritarian diet, which is whole foods, plant-based, high nutrient, amazing, wonderful food for your longevity, healthy weight, feeling good, digestion, disease prevention, reversal, blah, 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 blah. So many things. If you haven't read the book yet, please read it. Links for everything are down below. Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. You'll want to read that book if you haven't. It will change your life. So I'm doing this video, and I've done a bunch of these videos in a series of the types of meals that I would eat if I wanted to lose weight. And these are the types of meals I have used from after my pregnancy when I was 170 pounds to down here at this 115 area. If you want to lose a few pounds here and there, I always use the same exact meals and they work the same way. So I know that these will work for you. You may want to tweak a little bit here and there, but typically these sets of meals will work for everybody for weight loss. If you can try to have these kinds of meals, they're really great too because they're going to fill you up. You'll get lots of fiber, lots of nutrients. You'll feel much more satiated than if you were just like dieting on some regular standard American diet type thing. So give it a try, see how it works for you. Try it for a few days in a row and see how you feel, okay? And then you can switch things out as you go. With this video, as always, there is a cheat sheet, okay? So the cheat sheets are actual recipes. So if you want the specific quantities and measurements of the recipe, download the cheat sheet by signing up at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets, and you can get any cheat sheet from previous videos as well. So lots of really good tips and recipes and things like that. So make sure you sign up for the cheat sheets, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Hit the bell button to make sure you get notifications every time I publish videos. This is really important to me because it actually helps me build my channel, but because it shows YouTube that you guys like my content, and then they'll show it to more people, then I'll be able to make you more videos, and who wouldn't love that, okay? So please subscribe. Let's get in the kitchen and see what we're doing. My protocol for weight loss is usually a smoothie for breakfast, like a huge smoothie for breakfast, a huge salad for dinner, and then I'll have some leftover smoothie for dinner, plus maybe some berries or some veggies or something like that. So that's how this particular set of meals works today. So I'm going to show you the smoothie, I'll show you the salad, and just know that you can save, this is going to be like a 32 ounce smoothie, so you can save some of it, 8 or 10 ounces, something like that, in the fridge for dinner, and then have that later on, easy peasy. Then you don't have to cook a ton of meals, you just have the smoothie and the salad, okay? So I'm going to show you the smoothie first. Starting with a peach pineapple carrot smoothie. It's going to be totally delicious. So I always start with about 1 heart of romaine, something mild like green leaf or red leaf lettuce or romaine, something like that. And I always add 1 or 2 cups of something cruciferous. Stop looking at me like that.
Look at the camera. I'm trying to keep from laughing.
No, that's not I'm laughing.
Okay, I'll look down.
It doesn't matter.
All right, then.
I just laugh at you anyway. Okay. Plus 1 or 2 cups of something cruciferous, like, oh my god, like kale or cabbage or collard greens. And that I like to use a little bit of that because it won't give you too much of the flavor, but it will still give you some good anti-cancer cruciferous phytonutrients, okay? So I always start off with this heart like this. Now, I have been criticized before for not washing some of my produce sometimes, and I am okay with that criticism. All I usually do is wash the outside leaves of this, so I'm just gonna take this over to the sink. Just give these a rinse, just the outside ones, and not even do a very good job. That's just all I do. Criticize me if you want, but this is real life, people, real life. So I start by putting that in there, and I just kind of break up the rest of the heart of romaine, put that in there. Then I have a head of regular cabbage here. So all I'm going to do is just take my mandolin slicer here and just slice up about 1 or 2 cups of it. Just kind of spinning it around. And this is a really fast way to get some for a salad too. That's about 1 or 2 cups. I'm not even going to measure. I have my cup here, but you can see that's about 1 cup plus the rest. Good enough. Typically what I'll do when I'm making a smoothie is I'll start off with just like a full blenderful of greens, whatever greens you're using, and that's kind of how I measure it. Really loosely packed, nothing special. You don't have to be precise. but just so you're getting enough greens. And I think that, personally, I think, and I've seen this with a lot of my 21-day challengers who are doing the 21-day challenges that I put together, that when we have enough greens, and we're starting off with smoothies, and then we have greens in the smoothies, lots of them, plus tons of greens in the salad, that really helps to keep our calories low, keep our nutrients super high, and keep our bellies full with fiber and all the, you know, wonderful nutrients and everything. So we just feel a lot more satiated than we would if we were having just a little bit of this stuff. So this is really the quantity of stuff that I think is important for us to eat so that we can get all those wonderful benefits, okay? And if you are interested in doing another 21-day challenge with me, we're starting one really, really soon. So make sure you sign up. There's gonna be hundreds of us doing this one. Sign up at thewateringmouth.com/FreshStart2019. You'll be notified really soon. And if you're watching this video much later, don't worry, there's gonna be another one coming up whenever you're watching this too, okay? So make sure you sign up and I will notify you as soon as I can of the next challenge. Okay, so I always start by putting the greens in, and then I put my milk in. I always do like about a cup of non-dairy milk-ish, and then I blend first. So we've got our greens there. So we're going to put the rest of our stuff in. So I have a container here of ground flaxseed that I always keep in the fridge, and that way I can just put 1 tablespoon in every time I have a smoothie, or I can like sprinkle it on my salad or sprinkle it over some fruit or whatever, to make sure I have that ready to go, ground up from whole flax seeds myself. If you're curious, I have a video about flax seeds that tells you everything you need to know about flax, how to use it, how to store it, how to grind it, all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to put a half a cup of carrots in this one to get some extra phytonutrients.
This is all I have is baby carrots, so that's what we're using today. Just put that in there.
Then I'm going to put in 1 frozen ripe banana. Now I always have frozen ripe bananas in my freezer ready to go for smoothies or banana ice cream or anything like that. On a typical day, you'll see like 10 or 15 bananas piled up in our house that are just kind of going brown, getting ready for smoothies to be frozen. I'm going to do 1 cup of frozen pineapple. Then I'm going to do a cup of frozen peaches. Something like that. And then we blend. So because there's so much frozen fruit in here, I'm going to have to add some more water to get it to blend. You can always add as much or as little water as you want to get whatever consistency you like. I always like to start out with 1 cup of non-dairy milk just to give it a creamier feel no matter which smoothie I make. And then I make up for the rest of the liquid with water. So I usually end up pouring like up to almost the level of fruit that's in there, and then I blend. So important to have a Vitamix, you guys. If you can get one, this is the best purchase that you'll make on your Nutritarian journey. No, like for reals, no matter what. This was the first thing that I bought, even before I bought a fancy knife or anything like that. I bought a blender. They can be a little bit expensive, $300-400, but they are so worth it because you won't buy another one. They will handle anything, and they really make smoothies and salad dressings and soups and things like that so creamy. It just really, really makes a big difference, okay? I'm not even a spokesperson for them. I just 100% believe in the fact that you need a high-speed blender like this at some point soon so you can enjoy your meals as much as possible. So you can see that this is actually made a 50-ounce smoothie, guys. That's because of the amount of water I put in it. So if you put less water, and you're gonna have a smaller smoothie, of course, but this is like a lot of smoothie here to start out with. So you can start with a really huge smoothie, 20-30 ounces for breakfast, feel super full, feel really happy, and still have a bunch left over for dinner, no problem. Okay, so I'm notorious for not using up my lemons and limes quick enough. This is actually a lime and it looks terrible, but I'm still going to put it into my smoothie because it's good enough on the inside. I'm going to cut off the peel and I'm just going to put the whole lime into the blender. I'm not going to worry too much about seeds, but you could easily just, if you were using a lemon, you could use a lemon too, but you could easily just cut it in half and start to pick the seeds out a little bit and then put it in, but it doesn't look like this one has any anyways. I'm going to throw that in there. I like to just take the peels and squeeze that juice that's left over here, right into the smoothie. Okay, now I'm going to blend this back up. Okay, so we have our final product here. Bon appetit, happy breakfast.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. This is really refreshing. I really like it. Look at how much this is, you guys. This is like 32 ounces, 32 ounces here. You're not gonna get hungry for a while after you have this one. You can sip this throughout the morning if you want, but I tend to just chug this and then wait 3-4 hours to have lunch around noonish, and then everybody's happy, okay? See you at lunch. Okay, so for lunch today we are having an Asian-inspired salad. And it's not your typical salad. It doesn't even have any greens in it, but it's got green vegetables, so it's going to be real hearty and yummy. And it's using riced cauliflower, which is cauliflower just minced into rice type size. So it kind of feels like you're having rice, so it should feel really hearty, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is chop up some veggies and saute them, and then we're going to get moving on to the rest. First I have some green beans. Really important is the knife that you use at home. I find a lot of people end up using these blocks, like these knife blocks that have these sets of, you know, a big knife, a small knife, some steak knives and things like that, and you use the knives from those sets. And those can get you by for a while, but you really, just like with the Vitamix, you want to be thinking of getting some better tools in your kitchen so that you can enjoy and produce meals faster and easier and just in a better way, more safe actually, to have some good sharp knives that are very high quality. So I actually love using a ceramic knife, and I'm going to put a link for that in the cheat sheet and also in the description, in the show more description below, so you can see the one that I get. I highly recommend a knife like this because they get really easily through the skins of a pepper or the skins of a tomato, which are typically more difficult to be able to chop through with just a regular knife. So I suggest this, and maybe 1 or 2 smaller knives, and maybe 1 stainless steel knife. I really like the Wusthof brand, so I'm going to put some suggestions down below. But you don't have to put a ton of money into this. Just invest once and have really good quality knives, and also be safer in the kitchen, okay? So another thing that you can do is buy pre-chopped veggies, and that way you don't have to deal with this onion eye stuff that we're having right now, or the chopping even. This way you can make meals a lot faster, so just consider convenience for cost. Are you gonna be okay? The other thing is that when you're chopping an onion, consider that the root end of the onion is actually has the most anti-cancer compounds in it. And that is if you use it raw. So if you're using this type of you're using an onion, use the end of it, get as close as you can to that root, and put that raw stuff into your salad, because that's going to be the best anti-cancer stuff. So we also have mushrooms in this recipe. You can use any kind of mushroom you want, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing. I have a bunch of already cooked mushrooms from my freezer that I just pulled out. I'm just going to thaw them in some water. So I'm going to start cooking these up, and then I'm going to add my mushrooms at the end since they're already cooked. I'm just going to put this over like a medium-high heat and then just cook them for a while. And when they start sizzling, we're just going to add 1 or 2 tablespoons of water to it and move it around, and that is just the water sauteing, so you're not adding any oil or anything like that, and just cook it until the onions are starting to turn a little bit translucent. Okay, so while that is starting to cook, I actually wanted to show you, I have another thing from the freezer I'm taking out, which is just a bag of kidney beans, and this is what I'm going to use in my salad. So I'm going to thaw this in the same way I thawed the mushrooms. And this way, if you make your beans ahead of time, you make a ton of them, you can just batch throw them into the freezer like this, and then you have a cup or 2 on hand every week whenever you need beans, and that way you don't have to have salted or canned beans. You just always have them on hand at home. So the other part of this recipe is using riced cauliflower, kind of as rice. So we're going to prepare this. You could cook this in a separate pan if you wanted. I have riced cauliflower from Whole Foods, but I wanted to point something out that I didn't notice when I bought this. This riced cauliflower actually has added salt in it. So if you look over here, sodium 70 milligrams per 30 calories. That's a high sodium food. I didn't even notice. But be careful, because oftentimes when you buy veggies, and you can buy veggie broth and things like that at the store, they'll have added things in there that you didn't even notice. Like sometimes even oil can be in veggie broth, even the organic kinds, right? Like this is organic and they still put salt in it. Why? I'm not really sure, but just watch out for that, okay? All right, so you can see that while I'm cooking this here, some of these onions are already getting a little bit brown, and that's a little too early.
So I can turn the heat down a bit, and I'm just gonna add about a tablespoon of water or so to this pan, just to keep them from sticking and keep them a little bit moist. Now, if I was using mushrooms right now, fresh mushrooms, the mushrooms would probably give off enough water in the cooking process so that I don't have to add any water. But that's something you can just keep an eye on, depending on what you're water sauteing as you go. It's just that you don't want things to stick and get too brown, because that will form acrylamides, which is kind of a no-no on the Nutritarian diet. So just keep things from sticking to the pan and turning too brown, and you are good to go. So this package of riced cauliflower is something that you can just microwave.
And I am not opposed to microwaves. I've looked at a lot of research that Furman has talked about and what he's put in the forum and everything. No concern over microwaves, but of course if you're concerned with using microwaves, you can just feel free to cook this over the stovetop. I'm gonna microwave this to cook it a little bit, 4 to 6 minutes, along with some kale. And then we're going to put our veggie mixture over this. And you can use as much of this or as little as you want, because this is just cauliflower, so you can use this as your rice and have as much as you want. What I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of water, just a couple tablespoons of water in there, and then I'm gonna microwave this. I'm gonna cover it by just taking a paper towel. I'm gonna get this wet, just damp like this, rinse it out, cover the cauliflower with this, and then microwave it. Feel free to do this in a separate pot like this, over the stove if you want. So you could either do it in the microwave or you could do it over the stovetop, or if you really don't want to do a lot of extra effort, you can just do this all in one pan and just do the cauliflower with everything else at the same time. But I'm keeping the rice and the kale, you'll see in a second, separate, because I want it to have that real rice feel where you just pile a bunch of veggies on top like you're having an Asian meal.
Okay, so I added in my mushrooms. I'm just gonna stir this a little bit more. I did need quite a bit of water as I was cooking, but that's okay. And this is all ready to go. This part is ready to go.
So I'm also going to prepare some kale. I'm going to actually put this prepared kale into the cauliflower mix to cook for a couple minutes at the end. So I just stripped the kale. So I like to buy kale like this at the store. A lot of the times you can find kale in bags, and that's fine and stuff, except that that kale always has the stems in it too. And I really hate kale stems because they're bitter. So I like to buy kale off right on the stalk like this, as it would grow on the plant, and that way I can just strip it off the kale myself, and I just find it faster than having to dig through the bag to get all of the stems out. But of course, if you don't care about the stems, then just buy whatever's easiest. Chop this up. Okay, my cauliflower has cooked for a bit. You can see it's just been a little bit cooked, so I'm just gonna take the spoon, come over here. We're gonna put the kale in, and we're gonna cook that as well. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Put some more water in and finish cooking it. And this will be our rice mixture. Okay, so just add a little bit more water. We're gonna cook for another 2 minutes. So that was 4 minutes. And now we're just gonna do another 2 minutes, and then this will be done. As I said, feel free to cook that part over the stove if you like. Now we're gonna do the sauce. So what Asian dish could be complete without a sauce? So we're gonna just create a little sauce here. It starts off with a base of tahini. I like this raw tahini from Artisana, which I get off of Amazon. There's gonna be a link for that in the cheat sheets and in the show more description as well, so you can get this one if you want. I like it because you don't have to refrigerate it actually, but you do have to mix it up because the oil will separate from the tahini. If you guys are real afraid of oil, feel free to just get rid of the oil if you want. But I like to just mix it up because we want oils. We do want to have some fat in our life. So I just mix this up really well, and then I'll use it like this. So we're going to start off with 2 tablespoons of tahini. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that here. And then our rice is done. This is coconut aminos, which is another product that I really like. It's kind of got a sweet, salty-ish flavor, and we use just a little bit. It's lower sodium than Bragg's liquid aminos or soy sauce or anything like that. And I just love the flavor. So we use it in small amounts, but it's delicious. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons, something like that. You do want to be careful about these things though, because you don't want to get too much sodium, so measure it, but I'm just being lazy right now. And we've got the juice of 1 lime, and I have really old limes, as I said, but we're going to use this anyways. That in there. and a clove of garlic. This is like the biggest clove in the world, and that makes me happy, so we're going to use this. Okay, and then mix it up. I love to make dressings and sauces like this that you can just mix into a bowl like this because it's just so easy. Whenever we can have shortcuts, I love that. I'm going to add a little bit of water to thin this out some more. So you can add as much water as you want to get the consistency you're looking for. I want it to be saucy. And you could just pour this into everything and mix it all up too, but I just want it to be nice and thin when I put it on. But it just kind of depends on, you know, I didn't measure perfectly either, so it just kind of depends on how thin you want it. But this is looking pretty good to me. All right, so we are ready to assemble and eat. So let's see what we have. So we have our cauliflower rice with kale. Let's see how this looks. Very, very yummy. I can tell already that this bowl is too small for lunch, so let me get a bigger bowl. I'm also going to take the beans that I had thawed out from earlier. I'm going to put those into my stir fry. Kind of eyeball it, half cup to a cup, something like that. Stay there. Mix those in. And guys, this is like a mondo amount of food, but like you can have all this for lunch. Okay, so let's assemble, shall we? So we've got our cauliflower rice and our kale. We're gonna put this is like a Nutritarian sized bowl. We're used to these kind of like massive bowls here. So we've got our rice mixture on the bottom, and you can, if there's some water on the bottom, you can feel free to like dump this out a bit if you wanted to, but this is gonna be nice with the dressing. And then you can like put as much, I mean there is so much here. You can put as much of this on top as you want, and then drizzle it with this yummy sauce. We've got some really nice good fat in there, and eat this with a smile on your face, so happy. Okay, I need to have some of this right now. Okay, lunch is served. This is Nutritarian sized lunch, and you're definitely getting your pound of greens, your pound of veggies in for the day with us. Whoa. The lime. Sorry, hubby. I'm having a moment over here. So freaking good, you guys. You can eat all of this dressing. You can eat all of this mix over here. You can have the entire bag of cauliflower rice. It's all just vegetables, plus some beans, plus some fat, so you're just getting some really good phytonutrients, and it will definitely last you through the day for sure. Okay, so here's your lunch. Dinner then is leftover smoothie, and as you can see while we were filming, my leftover smoothie got eaten by somebody we know. I wonder who that is.
I don't know.
So you can have that leftover smoothie for dinner. You can also have with it, and you should have with it, a box of berries or something like that. Would be a perfect dessert to go along with that smoothie. You'll be super full and you'll get a ton of nutrients and all your G-bombs in for the day.
Okay guys, that is all I have for you today. Try out these recipes. Let me know what you think about them down in the comment section below. If you want to get the recipes and make these, make sure you sign up for the cheat sheets at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets. You can get this set of recipes and a bunch of other recipes and a bunch of other tips and awesome stuff on living the Eat to Live lifestyle. If you like this video, you like any of my other videos, you like what I'm doing, let me know by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And also please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/thewateringmouth. It's where all the cool kids are hanging out. It's the place where you can sponsor me, help me to make more videos like this for you, to show me your appreciation, and I will give you in return a ton of really awesome in-depth coaching and the sort of stuff that I don't talk as much about on my channel right now, on my YouTube channel. Everyone's getting that stuff on Patreon, okay? So you get more over there. Make sure you sign up, patreon.com/thewateringmouth. I would so appreciate it. And remember, there's another 21-day challenge coming up really soon. Sign up at thewateringmouth.com/freshstart2019. Love to see you in the 21-day challenge. The 21-day challenges are all this type of meal set where you will feel full, happy, get all your nutrients in, and you will lose weight at the same time, and you'll be able to do this with a bunch of other people that are doing it at the same time. Thank you so Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey, what's going on over here?
Cameraman gets hungry.